What is up, everyone? I want to make a update video for you on just what I've been learning from writing my blog and the themes that are starting to emerge. And so that way, as you watch this video, you can start to see your own journey to life. Basically going from being a programmed zombie slave who just cares about money and survival. I'm not saying you deep down care about that, but I'm saying that that's what you were programmed for. And the purpose of my blog and my videos is to help you to start to shed that programming and realize what you're actually here to do, which is be part of the change. Change the culture, change how we educate our kids and ourselves, ultimately see the change of the system, see the change of how we look at media, how we look at the government, how we look at politics and our economy, what we value collectively, and really create a world that would be best for everyone instead of this bullshit that we have going on right now. So first, I'm going to just talk about today's blog because this was really fascinating. I got an ad today, of all things, about how glyphosate is good for people because it helps farmers be able to make more money, and it helps people have to spend less on their food. And in the moment I saw it, I was like, wow, this is really stupid. And then I noticed myself go into a little bit of blame. Like, oh, come on. Like, are we still doing this? Like, this is insane. I mean, glyphosate is known to wreak havoc on your insides. Like, I don't care what benefit you think it does for crop yields. If it's fucking up your insides, it doesn't make sense. Now, am I a Puritan and I don't ever eat foods that contain glyphosate? No, I'm sure there are foods that I've eaten in the past week that have contained glyphosate. But ultimately, do I want that for myself and my kids and for the world? No. But that ad was just a symbol of the world and what's going on right now. Think about it. We are valuing getting a cheaper price over human life, human longevity. And don't you think we could come up with solutions? Like, don't you think if we put a bunch of people together who had the starting point of creating a solution that would be best for everyone, don't you think we could probably figure that out? I know we can, but our incentives are all fucked up. And now I'm getting ads on my Facebook about why glyphosate is actually good for my wallet. I'm like, okay, this is insane. So that's an example of one thing I've been writing about. And it's really showing me that I am still participating in this fucked up system. And it's not like I'm just going to go off grid. That doesn't make sense. It's about practically doing what's best in every moment. And that's a fucking challenge. Because I've been so pre-programmed from my whole life to just want to go with what's kind of convenient, what's easy, work hard, but kind of want to chill too. Like all this bullshit programming mirage that is here, I am learning how to break out of that, okay? And I know that you want to do that too. I know deep down that's what you want, and so my blog is designed to support. So there's another series I did recently, and I called it the 2 Pillars of the World System, and it's fucking awesome. I believe it started on day 33. Yep, it did. I got it in front of me here. I am unable to flip my video around, so I'll put the timeline though in the link here. And as day 33, I started to open up the 2 pillars of the system. And when I talk about the system, I mean, yeah, the whole fucking world system, the whole thing that governs basically your whole life. It's what's behind our government, our economy, your choices you make, the education system, all of it is all interconnected through this system. But the whole fundamental building blocks of the system are fucked up, okay? The 2 pillars. And you can read it yourself so you can actually get a grasp on this so you can see it and comprehend it and begin to change it for yourself. But the first pillar is relationships. And the second pillar is money. Because think about it. On a biological level, it actually makes so much sense that really your 2 drivers is sex and money. Because that's what's going to have you as the DNA procreate. If you got sex, it means your genetic information will get passed on. And part of sex is having relationships. Yes, your significant other or, a person that you have a child with. But also, too, your relationships determines your standing, your status. So this is like some fundamental shit, okay? That's the first pillar, is relationships. Then the second pillar is money. So again, back to, you'll see, this makes sense. If you want to survive in the world, you want to procreate, you want to pass on your DNA, you need money or resources, which is money is just another form of resources. And so our whole operating system is built on maximize my relationships, get the most out of it for my own self-interest, and maximize my money, get the most out of it for my own self-interest. And these two pillars have become so corrupted that we're literally living in a world that is so backwards. It's so backwards that we have a propaganda machine that is brainwashing everyone. We have these phones, which are mind control devices, in our pocket. We have TikTok and brain rot eroding the culture and the youth. But here's the cool thing. Even that is not enough to fucking stop me, okay? It better not be enough to stop you either. I know you can look out there and let's say you're walking around downtown or you're, around other people, and everyone's got this fucking tendency to pull their phone out, look at the phone, scroll Instagram, do that thing, right? But let's not let it get that bad. And so the two pillars of the system, I walked through it over a span of like 6 days, looking at all these different dimensions of love in relationships and then money and our relationship to money. And it's freaking thorough. It's awesome. So those are some of the blogs I would recommend reading. And really shout out to those of you who are going through it day by day. The money agreement one was awesome. I just made a YouTube video on that too. That one I've seen firsthand have a lot of positive change in people's lives. Just like very quick practical change too. And they're really all of them. It's like it's designed that you can go through from day one through day whatever, and you read it out loud once a day. It's a process called self-forgiveness, and it is fucking life-changing because we have been taught since we were young kids that you cannot forgive yourself. Or you can kind of forgive yourself in this like nice feel-good way, but not like, no, literally point by point. Like you can take the thing that is holding you back, that limiting thought, that limiting belief, and you can forgive it, which is delete it. Then you can realize something from that, realize what you had accepted and allowed, and then you can commit to a new way of action. So it's almost like you pull it out, you put in a new command of how you want to be, and then you can now live that new command. And you do this on all the different dimensions of all the aspects of your life, guess what? You change. And when you change, you know it's real change when those around you are also changing and you're taking more responsibility and you're sharing this with people. It's not about just forgiving yourself so you can feel good and get a little bit of stress relief. No, it's forgiving yourself so you can now unite all the other people who actually give a fuck and want to change the system. Because if you have time to forgive yourself and you know about this process and you're like, cool, I have a couple hours a day, I could just do this. Great. What are you going to do with it? Because if you're just like caring about yourself, you just turn it into some bullshit spirituality that doesn't do anything. Like think about the kid right now that's needing to wake up and spend all day to go work in a fucking cobalt mine. Or a kid that is getting drafted into war today. Because that happens every fucking day on planet Earth. Do they have any opportunity to read my blog? Probably not. They probably don't have internet or a phone they can read it on. So us, as the people who can actually have an effect in the system, can read this and can be part of the change, so that way on a systemic level, we can make the change that we want to see in the world. Okay? It's not to say I know what's best for every single person in every single situation, but there's certain things we can agree on. Like it doesn't make sense for a kid to have to go work in a cobalt mine for fucking 14 hours a day. Or that we should have war. Like there's certain things we can agree on that are not best, so you just use the principle of inversion and apply a little bit of common sense to figure out, okay, what would actually be best? Like, doesn't it make sense for us to figure out how we can make every person get clean water and nutritious food and a good education, so they have vocabulary so they can read books and communicate? Like, that shit we can all agree on, okay? That's the kind of thing I'm focused on figuring out. So we should connect, and you should read my blog, and we should really build. There's some blogs I wrote on the idea of subconscious coordination, and they're really good. Just go read it yourself, okay? I'm not going to keep going on that in the video, but just read it yourself and then notice how your life starts to change, because you will get new opportunities that open up, and it's on you to take responsibility to take them. And if you need help with that, or you notice you're like forgiving yourself, but you keep looping on the same pattern, then your forgiveness is not effective. Because just reading mine that I write, it's just meant to be a springboard to help you. Ultimately, you should be writing your own self-forgiveness every day. You can sound it out, you can write it, and I can teach you how to do this. But you got to reach out for support, okay? So yeah, go make it your best week yet, and go actually start forgiving yourself for the stuff you've allowed, because I would love to see you thrive, and I would love to see you at your utmost potential with your spot in the world. Like, we all have these different points. You call me a location point in our world system. And right now, you're at where you're at. But there's some ultimate point you can be in. That's your optimal, fullest potential. Don't you want to see what that is? I do. I would way rather see you live that in this lifetime than just like have a mediocre life. So if you want that and you want to figure that out, let's figure it out together.